If I said the odds were 5% or 10% or 100% or 22%, it would just be random numbers, right? The things
Yeah.
that we feel might hold us back don't, unless we let them. First of all, welcome to what I'm calling Undeniable Sales 101. My hopes in doing these coaching sessions is really just to increase the number of people that I can reach. Obviously, with the context of mentorship, it's very personal. You can only mentor so many people. So this is a way to kind of expand that reach and help showcase the positive impact of what I feel is needed in this industry, which is personalized support and individual strategy instead of some cookie cutter approach. And lastly, I hope that it inspires other people who are experiencing similar challenges that maybe you're facing. Sound good?
Yeah, that would be great.
Good. So how this works, you will share one main challenge, situation, goal, problem, and for about 15 minutes or so, I will go all in and give you whatever guidance, support I can, and hopefully you come away with some actionable steps that improve your situation.
Of course,
So
I'll
what do
I'll
you got for me?
I'll just compress everything like a small summary for my background. So I did some high ticket sales for my company in digital products, but I did it like my own way without any training and without anything. I did it pretty well. I'm doing that for the last 5 years.
Mhm.
Now I discovered just searching. I discovered I don't know, a few guys in the industry like Bill Walsh, Jeremy Miner, you and other guys, other groups. And I saw that there's a structure behind, there's a certain frameworks and things like this. So I decided to train in this area to get better and maybe to get into other niches. So now for 1 month or so, I'm training. So as you see, English is not my first language. So like this would be my challenge and my question to what are the chances and uh, how big it gets to get into the industry.
Okay.
Because
So
I'm willing to put in the work and doesn't matter for me. I'll do whatever it takes to get in
beautiful.
the high ticket sales.
Well, and I think that that is the core answer. If I said the odds were 5% or 10% or 100% or 22%, it would just be random numbers, right? The things
Yeah.
that we feel might hold us back don't, unless we let them. And so the most
Right.
important thing is what you said is I'll do anything in my power to make this work. And when I hear that and someone implements that, these challenges become just hurdles that we overcome. So is it a bigger challenge? Of course, right? Is it a bigger challenge than maybe I and other people have had in this industry? Absolutely. But what I look for first is, are there people who have faced similar challenges, who have similar limitations, who have achieved great things? And the answer is absolutely, right? And
Oh,
so
right.
what that does is we tend to individualize our problems and we tend to make them our own. What I like to do is find my problems elsewhere and know
Yeah.
that, okay, someone else has figured out the cheat code to this. Now, as far as the path, I think it's really important in that it's beautiful that you're going through these sales trainings and that you're developing the skills and getting more structure. I think that will pay dividends.
Yeah.
The challenge being a lot of people train until they feel ready. And the problem with that is you're never going to feel ready. And
Yeah.
so you have to ask yourself, right? Am I allocating my resources properly? So, for example, if I was to go the next 3 months and train every day in sales, am I any closer to landing a position? No, when I land the position, those skills are going to come into play. But what I see happening more often than not is someone will find a trainer that they really resonate with, which is fantastic. I think you should always be investing in your skill development. It will
Yeah.
pay off. But what happens is you go somewhere, you find a training that you really like, you get that structure, and then 3 months later, you go find a business and they're like, oh, we do it totally different, and you've just trained in a totally different direction. Now you have to decide, and this is where I see a lot of salespeople making errors, Is they're like, oh no, I like to sell this way, so it's not going to work. For me, it's like if the business has a proven sales process and it's working there, and of course it aligns with my morals, I'm not doing anything corrupt,
Yeah.
then I want to learn that process because I'm getting paid to learn a second process. Right. And so what I would do is I would balance. I don't know what the right number for you is. Maybe it's 50-50, maybe it's 80-20, but allocating a certain percentage of your time to train, and then the rest of the time connecting with people, finding the examples of people that have made this transition smoothly, who have faced the same challenges, connect with business owners, see what their feedback is. Because as you get their feedback, it might not be what you thought your limitations were going to be. Right? Because if you can
That's very true.
communicate, if you can sell, you've sold before, you have a good history, maybe you're ready now. Right. So that would be my biggest thing is how do you balance approaching the job market and developing your skills? A lot of people in this industry kind of pick a this or that. What you want to do is balance both. So I guess that's my next question. Are you actively seeking a role currently?
I first of all, I got into a group with some gurus, and they were like posting like it's a job post, but when you
Mhm.
get into a call and with the setter and everything,
Right.
they are just want to buy their course or something like that, and
Right.
they prepare. So it's a total bullshit. Yeah, I started to talk with some people to. Uh, I sent a few applications, but they came back negative.
Hmm.
So I'm extending my network in the area.
Good. You know what I'm going to say, right? The
No.
the job applications are going to be the most restrictive process we meet. Recruiters and job applications, although they serve their purpose, you're putting your name with 200 other people, right? So the challenge is how are you going to stand out on an application, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying avoid the applications. I'm not saying avoid the recruiters. If I see a great opportunity, I always put my name in. But what I'm looking at is how can I connect directly to these business owners? And more so, how can I get the job before it's even a job? As you know, you've been in business, you know that before there's ever a job post, there's someone thinking about maybe we should let this person go, or maybe we should hire another person, or hey, we seem to be
Mm.
getting more leads, or we want someone to handle the DMs, or we want someone to help set for this person. There's these conversations that happen behind closed doors. I call it the hidden job market, but it's anticipated somewhere between 70 and 80% of the top opportunities happen behind closed doors, happen through the networking, through the personal branding, right? And so the first aspect, and again, a lot of people take the very traditional job approach and then they hear networking, and all they do is they shift that same job approach to networking. But understanding that networking is about mutually beneficial relationships, right? And so what I would start doing now so that you don't have to be so transactional is start planting seeds. And what I mean by that, and kind of a principle that I hold in UCM often is you don't plant seeds when you're hungry. So what happens is a lot of people go through the sales training, and then when they're hungry and it's time, then they're
Yeah,
trying to rush the job,
you
right?
look
And then
desperate.
everybody is like, "Oh, this guy wants something from me." What I would do now is just take a very supportive role. Start engaging. I've seen you around the community. I've seen you engage in my posts. The one thing I would say is I would love to see a profile picture so I can see you and know you're a real human. But
Where? On Facebook?
yes,
I
yeah,
have a profile. Oh, okay, I have a profile picture of me in the sea. So
in the water.
it's
Yeah, it's
yeah.
good, and I
But I
think
have
it would
other
be
pictures with my face. So
right. I think it would be a good background. It's a cool photo, right? But
okay,
maybe the banner instead of the
okay,
profile,
okay.
right? And then start engaging in the community more, right? Start warming up the community. Start aligning with other people, other salespeople, other business owners, recruiters, marketers, service providers, and start forming those relationships first. That way you can still do that while you're selling, even if you're not ready for the position yet. But
Mm.
when you're ready, you'll have already warmed up those relationships. You already done favors, you formed strategic alliances, and then all of a sudden the opportunities start to flow through. Right. So I would start planting those seeds now. Do you have a timeline on when you would like to secure a position?
I don't know with the structure that I have in place now for the training, it will take me around 2 months just to go over the things that I have uh, the structure.
Why?
So
Why do you need that structure to get a job?
just to, I don't know, I was thinking just to go through it, maybe go a second time, and then do some role plays to see if I'll be able to close
Is
some
there
leads.
is there any reason you wouldn't be able to?
I
No.
don't know. I'm not used to the flow. I did it my way until now, so now it's a little bit different.
Right. And it's probably like, what are the chances the business owner is going to use the training that you're signed up for now?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm new to the industry, so I'm just learning
Right.
how it works.
But you've sold in business before,
Yeah.
right? And you used a different script for that, different process.
I didn't have like a script. I just go with the flow. I try to understand the fears behind the person. So
I love it. And did it work?
yeah, it worked very well.
Okay. What would you say if I told you I sell very similarly?
It's I don't know. It's a little bit scary for me.
There's
I mean it's pretty new everything, so I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah, which is beautiful. There's nothing, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't go through, but it's not
Yeah, of course.
necessary. You're putting extra hurdles because you feel uncertain, right? Feel a little fear, a
Yeah.
little unknown, a little lack of confidence. This is the void. This is the hardest part, right? Where you're entering a new industry, you have no idea whether you're going to be able to be good or not. But I can tell you, whether you go through 2 months, whether you go through that course 2 times, 3 times, 7 times, it's still going to feel the same way when you start, right? And oftentimes what's going to happen is you're going to onboard with a company and they're going to give you a totally different script. And you're going to think, why did I go through my script 4 or 5 times? Right? There's certain elements, right? Like being able to handle objections, being able to ask good questions, like you said, draw out the information that allows someone to make an optimal decision. But the path you're on is not necessary to be able to enter the market. If
Yeah.
I offered you a job today, you'd be able to start, and guess what would happen? I'd have to teach you the process that we use anyway, right? And your first call is going to suck, right? It's going to suck whether you take 6 months or 2 months or a month or no time at all, right? So I
So
think,
there are many, sorry, there are many companies that are willing to hire someone not based on, I don't know, their skills, or just to give them a script and have them apply that script.
well, it's interesting how you frame that versus you said that you have experience, right? You've
Yeah.
sold before. You said it works pretty well. What is that not skill?
Yeah, but from what I saw in the market and from the groups, it's like pretty much different,
Right.
because I saw people following a script. I saw people having like a frame and working in that
Yeah.
space. So
Absolutely. Now, think about what you just said, though. I seen it in the marketing. The marketing of who? The people trying to sell you the program.
yeah, no, I mean in the market, like in the groups, in your group, in other groups of
Right.
sellers, just from the discussions, I understand some things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, again, like going through your process, right? There's a script, but there's going to be a different script. The
Yeah,
chances that you bought the script that everybody's using, right? So take myself, for example. I've never went through any of these programs, right? I've done very well in remote sales. I can list you 100 other people that never bought those programs. Buying those programs and learning those scripts is very different than having the skill and ability to learn a process and work that process. Now, it's contradictory because I'm not saying stop training. What I'm saying is you're also feeling that fear and you want to go through and feel ready. What I would say is let the market dictate whether you're ready or not. Right? You're still going through the process, but start the process. Don't wait until you're done
yeah,
and then go out. Right? Start now. We start seeing what the market is saying. If a bunch of business owners say, "Hey, we want you to finish your program before starting," then you at least have feedback.
yeah,
But what I've found is no, it's not necessary. If you can interview, if you can show your capability, your reliability, if you can show and do the research and make sure that you're the best candidate, people will hire you. right? Maybe not through the application process as much as making those connections and showcasing. But even if you're not going to start for 2 months, it's much better to start now and start building those relationships
Yeah.
and planting those seeds than it is to wait 2 months and then start. Right. So just in our final minutes here, I want to see more of you in the comment section. I want to see more connections. I want you, the role plays are great. Jump on some role plays, right? I think you're ready to do that now. And what would help too is offering yourself up as a prospect, right? So someone else does the role play, you're the prospect,
Yeah.
see how they handle some things, challenge them. But I think you're much more ready than it feels like. That would be my overarching idea, is like, go out and let the market decide, because we're never going to feel ready. So put yourself out there, right? Apply for the jobs when you see it, but go after the businesses that you really want to work with, and find people where English is their second language and connect with them and learn about their journey, because where they're working, where they've had success, is a path for you to have that same success.
Mhm. Great. Thanks for encouraging me and for the advices. It's means very much for me.
Of course, yeah. It's like I said, that void is extremely difficult, right? It's like the time we have the lowest confidence and the highest uncertainty, and that's where imposter syndrome comes up. But each day, take those actions, right? Don't self-reject. Make sure
Yep.
that, hey, if someone rejects me, that's just the data. I'm going to find out why, and then I'm going to figure out what to improve on.
No, I went throughout this process in multiple markets, so I'm pretty
You've been
used
there.
with it, but it's a different scale now.
That's it.
It's a little bit different, but I know I have to put on in the work and
I love it. I love it. Like you said, do everything it takes to get in there and
yeah.
make it work. So I want to see more of you. I want an update on each week.
Mm.
Hit me up in the inbox and let me know the progress you've made towards the job hunt as well as the skill development. Balance them both.
Yep.
Awesome. I
Great.
appreciate it, man. Let me know if you
Thank you
need
very
anything
much.
else. You take care.
Okay, have a nice day.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye. All right, that's it. I want to thank you for watching today, and I hope you received some value from this training session. Make sure to like and subscribe, and click the bell icon to be notified when we release the next training session. If you would like to be featured on a future training session, make sure to join our remote sales community on Facebook. I'll leave a link in the description. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover on a future training session, just leave a comment below. Appreciate you. Onwards and upwards.